Love to see those little things. Did you see the tweet that Sumail put out as well, that he got like 10 reports and 2 abandons in like 2 days playing China?
Yeah, that was funny. I mean, I've seen Chuan like posting on his little Chinese Twitter as well. Like he gets like 50 reports on his, so I think he has it maybe a bit easy for now, but perhaps not China's most beloved Dota player. Probably one of the few players that actually has gotten booed when he's gone to China. But hey, he's a polarizing but lovable figure for a reason.
Absolutely, yeah, it's good to see him there. I'm kind of interested also to see this matchup. You know, we're talking about Sumail, and the other side of the coin as well is going to be Newbee. SC made a name for himself beating this Evil Geniuses team and just kind of running over them at the MDL, and then of course obviously they were able to come back and win that later. But there was that one game that just really stood out to me. Do you think that there's a little bit of pent-up energy here between these two squads?
Possibly. I mean, it is. Yeah, these teams have obviously a bit of a history. I mean, they've versed each other quite a bit, obviously, throughout different rosters that they've had, as well as with their current rosters. So imagine Newbie maybe thinking like, let's get some revenge on EG. But at the same time, I think bigger picture-wise, teams are probably thinking more like, hey, let's look to work on ourselves and build on what we're doing for this new patch now that things have changed so much in the 7.00 patch. So teams are still kind of in that experimental stage. So being the first term on the new patch, it's kind of like, it's cool to see all the new stuff coming out, but it also kind of maybe it loses some of that prestige because no one really knows what the hell they're doing.
Yes.
Like, they're just all like learning how to ride the bicycle again, you know? They've forgotten how, and they're gonna see if they can pick it up.
Yeah, that's to me also just exciting from a spectator point of view. Sure, like maybe this doesn't decide the invites to the next major, but it's going to be cool to watch it happen, and I'm really excited for the matchup. I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot revealed yet that we don't already know. Visage, it's a pretty good hero. Batrider's still amazing. You can combo those things together, so I'm looking for these next couple of picks to maybe show us something new. And I don't know, is there anything that these strategies are inherently lacking with what they have so far?
I imagine Newbee are going to look for that big explosive hero for the mid lane for SCC, which is typically the Storm or the OD, and those were EG's 2 bans. So curious to see what he ends up playing, since those are definitely his 2 best heroes. He is a mid player who's by no means is hero limited, even though he has heroes he shines on. It's kind of like you talk about like a Miracle or a Weeha. There's like 1 or 2 heroes that maybe stand out, like they're invokers or whatever, but these guys still play a huge number of heroes. So we'll see where Newbee end up putting him. They get the Rubik, so it's a good hero for 5-man push strats with the magic damage resistance coming out from the null field. It's also a good support to have with Visage, because Visage doesn't have initiation, and that's what telekinesis provides you. So it's initiation can also in some situations be used as a save. It's not as good as like an Astral or a Disruption or an Oracle, but it's still like a situational save as well.
Yeah. Oh, and I feel like it's a hero that's just gotten so much play, whether it's been in the first round of picks, thinking back to the Boston Major, or now, you know, also still being used. And I love to see it. It's cool to have him back in the meta. Do you think that now that sort of slows down Evil Geniuses if they were thinking about going into teamfight heroes? Do they just want to play pick-off style and maybe get a split-pushing hero mid?
I think they're going to stick with play their more farming efficiency type game and their lane dominance game. As strong as like a Rubik Visage tri-lane can be, it's a Drow tri-lane, and Drow is not a hero that does a whole lot in a tri-lane. So if they can get 2 heroes down there, something to go with the Batrider to perhaps speak fairly tanky with him. That's where the Underlord was banned out, because Newbee are worried about that Underlord Batrider dual lane, or something like a IO Batrider dual lane, which has also been banned out. So if you want to contest that bottom lane, you're a bit more limited as far as heroes you can pair up with the Batrider. They get Bounty though. That's a hero that can be very pesky. And against squishy supports like Rubik and Visage, if Bounty catches them by surprise, that's going to be kills going EG's way.
Wow, and you know, I don't remember the last time I saw an EG Bounty Hunter. I mean, it's been a while, I've got to say. The hero's still, you know, we saw him do a lot with maybe next time at the major, and he still does what he does. The talents, the big level 25 one, bringing Janata down to a 1-second cooldown, don't know if that's something that they're going to be really looking to. To me, is there anything new in the patch that you feel like might benefit having Bounty Hunter, or a reason that they're taking it up here?
I think this is a patch where it's very good for roaming supports. All the bounty runes mean supports being missing from the map in the jungles. Taking the enemy bounty runes are going to be just that much more powerful. So it does feel like a good patch for roaming supports in general, since you can get a lot of bounties in the past would often struggle at getting a good time on their level 6, but it's a lot easier to get that level 6 at a faster rate now with all the bounty runes. And I just feel like this is a patch where we're seeing, at least so far, the trend has been more fighting, more clashes, using the shrines, and that's something where Bounty Hunter also can benefit a lot from just going around harassing, getting kills, then you shrine up. You can put a lot of pressure on, and they actually get the Darks here, so this is looking more like a Bat Rider mid. Wow. With the Darks here as well, this is a very, again, laning stage focus from EG. They want to win the lanes.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Well, the other thing that we did see, and I don't expect to see it here, was the Zhao 8 Bat Rider in the support role. Like, is there any way that we could see something like that coming up from EG?
You know, I was thinking about that, but then you have like you don't have any 5 position. Like, you have a Bounty who's normally a 4. You have a Bat who can play as 4 position. Like, Darkseer, Bat, and Bounty can all be supports, but they can all be like 4 position supports. You don't really want to play them as a 5. Bounty's like the one slight exception where he often gets a little less farm than the others, but playing that would be kind of it's not like greedy in the sense like they've got a lot of they're trying to like out farm Newbee. It'd be greedy in the sense like they don't have a good hero to like secure their lanes and like secure Lifestealer's lane if he's getting pressured at all. So it feels like it would make things a bit more volatile for them.
It like transcends the boundary from greedy just to bad. Oh my god! Okay, they did it.
Oh, it is. Yeah, they're doing like something funky here. You know, like give again like you talked about Arteezy like being really good in these 1v1 matchups. Put him 1v1 versus a Void. Just have Bounty roaming around. Darkseer with the Bat in the off lane. Like Darkseer Bat is a very scary lane. Like that's a hero that can benefit a lot from Iron Shell and Surge. Bounty can come in. Like, I mean, EG can lane this in so many. The only thing that's like certain here is TA's going mid, and Lifestealer probably wants to just go to the top lane. But the other 3 heroes are going to be jungling. We're seeing a lot more emphasis on the jungle now that there's that medium camp at bottom, right by the tower. So it's a lot easier to get more farm as well as experience in that dire off or both off lanes. So doing these kind of lanes seems to be even more powerful now.
I mean, I'm looking at sort of it. To me, it just feels like order on Newbee's draft and chaos up with what EG is doing. I don't even know what to expect. Like Darkseer there to push out the lanes, but what's the team fight? I don't know. Do you think Evil Geniuses have something here?
Absolutely. I mean, they've got strong heroes all over the place. It's just they don't have an obvious like, what's Crit's hero? Like, what's he playing as a 5 position support? It's going to be a Crit Bat Rider or a Crit Bounty Hunter. You know, it's going to be some weird 5 position hero. Bounty especially works with very little farm. Bat Rider typically needs at least like a alright timing on a Blink Dagger or a pass like we sometimes saw the drums. So I think EG, despite having no clear traditional support, have very strong lanes. TA wins the mid lane matchup against Mirana. They can contest the Drow's lane. Lifestealer can do fine 1v1 versus Void. Like I like EG's draft despite the fact they don't have that traditional support.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Game number 1 in this best of 3 grand finals for the China Top, well, LAN event, and it's looking like it's going to be a bit of a doozy. I'm excited. I can't wait. We've seen a lot of kills also that happens, and you think to yourself naturally, if there's a lot of kills in the game, it is going to benefit Bounty Hunter a lot, but the GLHFs go out, and as far as laning stage-wise, we're starting to see some of these heroes. Are there any surprises as far as who's on what for...
I mean, I'm trying to figure out who is on what. It is, I believe, Zion Bat Rider. Is he RTC fans? Universe was playing as Happy Holidays yesterday, so it's a Universe Darkseer. No surprises there. So I imagine this is a Crit Bounty Hunter playing like a 5 position bounty. He's going to be roaming. You kind of can help out the safe lane as a bounty as well. At least start out there, do a bit of zoning, and then head off elsewhere. So interesting little lanes coming out.
Yeah, I'm a little bit interested also just to see like how the early movement comes in. It does look like they want to contest this bounty rune. Can they do anything here, the side of EG, or is it just going to be Bounty trying to scout it out and sneak it away?
I mentioned Bounty may just want to try to sneak it. He's got the ward at the shrine, so he can keep vision there. Unfortunately for Arteezy, where he places the Observer Ward is in range of the Sentry, so hopefully that does not get spotted by... Oh, KP does see it, so...
They found out as well, the Bounty Hunter. They're going to pull him back in. Arrow is not going to connect, but the right clicks come through, and, well, that's first blood going to the mid laner.
Yep. First blood there, and KP knows where the ward is, but he's getting zoned a bit in. I was about to say, is Arteezy going to go and try and contest this top bounty rune? He could try go for the double bounty rune, like take the enemies and come back and get your own, but not going to be the case. And KP unfortunately can't really de-ward that on his own because he doesn't get high ground vision unless he's on top of the ramp, so he needs a friend to come help him out.
Is he just going to jump up there? Is that even like pathable? I'm not sure.
You'd have to wait the long time walk cooldown to get back down, so.
All right.
I'd say not advised. It's probably telling his support like, hey, come over here later on and we'll de-ward this, but that sentry will expire. So, I mean, pretty good start. Level 1 for Newbee, killing the bounty hunter, kind of getting some info as what's going on. I don't think the magic sig first item is particularly great for KP. It's a bit of an odd choice, but he may actually rotate bottom. It looks like the call is likely going to be send Drow top and get KP against the tough lane. Newbee's not a team where they'll want to, like, some teams would just be like, this is fine, Void can 1v1 a lifestealer. Let's just turn Void into more of the carry and Drow into this like secondary carry, but Newbee's more a team that will make sure that KP is like the selfless one. He doesn't want to play like a selfish, greedy offlane.
All right, well, we'll have to keep our eyes on that matchup if they do decide to switch things over eventually. At least for now, it does feel like there's a lot of pressure down here bottom onto this Drow Ranger, and I'm trying to figure out how exactly she deals with it. I mean, I guess she's able to CS fairly effectively, but is there kill potential here against the Drow?
They can dive, certainly, once they get a couple of levels. Ideally, like, definitely need okay, they've got the Surge. They may even need a Janata, but more likely than not, they want to get a few more levels first. Bat's even coming in mid. He's doing the Zhao Wei thing that we saw at the Major. This Bat Rider just coming in, poking his head in.
Oh, man. Having a little bit of... It's very inconsistent. The loss suddenly drops up to like 20, but it hangs out occasionally at other ones. But we'll keep our eyes on. If we need to, we might try and go for a reconnect. But for now, at least, we'll keep our eyes down bottom where pulls are being contested. And it does feel like right now EG trying to make sure that they get something out of this lane. Fade Bolt's thrown, but not really capable of doing that much until they get a couple more levels. Did I lose you? Hello? Gods? Oh God. Did he die? Are you still here? Parker! Oh no, it's all gone wrong. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. So I'm trying to cast a game in China. I've got Parker in Australia, and I'm just sitting here in Oregon, you know, with twiddling my thumbs, hoping that everything ends up working. We'll go for the solo as long as possible until we hear back from him, and hopefully he is not dead for the rest of the game. I'll send him a quick little message. Hey, you still there? All right, I'm sure that he'll get that. Well, in the meantime, it does look like we have the bounty hunter is going to rotate in, not able to find himself a courier, unfortunately, so still a little bit off the mark there. And KP still getting, you know, a decent time in the CS department, but Arteezy getting a little bit of the better of him. A couple more denies along the board, and well, I'm not sure if Faceless Void alone is going to be able to deal with this. Decides to pop in at the shrine, and well, I think that Bounty Hunter is just going to be a little bit not quite there in time. He will be able to pick up a bounty rune, but no courier snipe this time around. Bountiful. Let me see if I can get any word from him. All right, he's just gone. We're chilling. Don't worry, it's fine. I promise everything will be fine. So the farm war is up top there. Mid lane, TA has actually somewhat forced the Mirana to head off over into the jungle. I mean, this is something that she's going to want to do regardless, but, you know, hop on over to one of the camps, throw in one of the arrows, get the hard camps there. But you can really tell the tale already. 23 and 6 is the CS for TA, and now for Mirana you got 13 and 2, so almost getting doubled up at this point. And the thing that's really tough about this, too, is I don't know if they can rotate in anybody to help a ton. Like, if you bring in the Rubik or the Visage at any point, then that leaves the Darkseer completely free to keep the pressure on this Drow Ranger. And you can see right now, EG just getting a lot out of their supports. Bounty Hunter's been making the rounds. You there? Did I hear something?
Yeah. Sorry, my mic just cut out for a little bit. I got a new one. We're back in business.
Great, good stuff. Oh, time walk away. Did you hear me blabbering on about inane things while you were gone at least?
I did for a little bit, and then I'm like this. I tried to troubleshoot, couldn't work, and then I ran off to find my other mic. So I may not sound as good, but hopefully you can at least hear me now.
We can. That's good stuff.
What babbling have I missed? How's EG and Newbee doing?
They're kind of dominating the CS, at least among the top for EG, and it looks like, you know, they're having some struggles in the other lanes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, KP's looking like he's getting under a lot of pressure with this bounty hunter roaming around. Drow is at least farming decently well, all things considered, like with the pressure down bottom. So Rubik and Visage have just said, look, we're going to just commit to protecting this Drow, making sure she gets some alright farm. And Visage even has like 8 CS, 4 denies, so not too shabby there.
Yeah. I guess it's just been moving in and contesting those pulls as they've come up, or getting the pulls themselves and then getting the last hits on them, which obviously is something you're just going to have access to as you're in this lane.
I think the worry is like Sumail in this mid lane he's not dominating the Mirana right now, but this lane gets more one-sided once TA gets like a few more levels and starts farming up like the Ancients right to the north. He can farm the other camps. He can use that Shrine of his while he's jungling. So TA will flash farm faster than the Mirana can.
Oh, and I guess that's
Arrow mid, but that's not going to do much.
Well, I'm glad it didn't, because I'm reconnecting right now. We did talk a little bit as well in the previous days about TA and how you can kind of exploit the Ancients more so than you would previously. Do you think that that's something they're going to look to in this?
Yeah, it seems like I've seen a lot of TA picks in the last couple of days, and it seems like this dire TA is going to become a thing. With the Shrine and the Ancients right by your lane, you don't have to walk very far to go farm an ancient. It's not even about an ancient stack. Just without even the stacking it, these ancients give a lot of golden experience. It's really high value, and TA is one of the best heroes to farm ancients with because you don't take damage. You've got the meld. You do very high physical damage. So this map changes have made TA an even stronger mid laner, and I think that's a big reason why EG are picking it a lot.
Yeah. Well, and I'm really, I mean, that's something, I think we've seen it every game that it's been available to them, if I'm not mistaken, on EG. So really feeling comfortable on the hero, but I kind of want to see where they go from here. You talked previously and in the past days about how EG just want to build up this farm advantage in the lanes and then play the farming game from there. It does look like they want to get aggressive. Can they find kills here?
Yeah, they can. They want to go at the Drow. They want to try and strike before like Visage gets his level 6. But nice position from the Visage.
God. Well, a lot of damage coming in.
Dive here with the Gus.
Yeah, are almost going to be able to bring down the Visage. Not quite in time, though, and, well, still doing some damage. Soul Assumption just going to kill off the Bounty Hunter. Batrider's still looking for the kill here. They are going to bring in the Drow. Very low, but not dead yet. 11 HP, and, well, he is going to die to the Flame Break, but they do have eyes on Happy Holidays, trying to bring down that universe. Darkseer. Oh, that was really close. He ended up using it and is going to die.
Okay. That was a really good defensive play from Newbee. They were so ready for that. And EG, they were at the same time, like, they were fully committed. They said, a lot of teams, they would have just backed off. Once the smoke popped and they didn't get the kills, they would have just been like, all right, this isn't going to work. Let's just back off a bit and reset. But EG's like, nah, let's dive this. We've got this surged up Batrider. He's got Flame Break early on, so going for this early Flame Break makes you have even more kill potential with that pushback. But that was such a good lift into Gust. Like, the Gust back from the Drow was the big thing there. He completely stopped the dive with that Gust and then was able to turn it around.
Making the reactions that they need right now to the ganks. And, I mean, they're going to go back down and try and pressure the Drow Ranger again. Do you think that that gank was somewhat successful for them, or is it pretty much just a complete disaster?
That was, yeah, that's a complete disaster. They get, I mean, the one Visage kill for everything they lost, and it's like a Drow getting it. And Visage even got XP before he died. Like, got, what, 2 of the 3 kills before Visage went down, means that Visage is almost level 6, Drow is level 7, so we're looking at the marksmanship already online. This bounty needs to be careful.
Oh my god, the right clicks. That's a ton of physical damage, and the Soul Assumption to finish it off. Newbee are just looking very, very crisp here.
Yeah, it just walks into a central. It's one of those tough things, like you're a bounty, you want to come contest a lane, you don't know if there's a sentry, you got to take these risks, and he gets there, so we'll see what EG's plan is going to be. I imagine they're going to make some more smoke moves soon, perhaps Teasy getting involved with the Infest. The Armlet timing could be something they wait for before they make that move, but even pre-Armlet, they do have the ability to go for these kind of ganks.
Yeah, and I guess that when we're talking about that failure that happened down the bottom lane, how difficult that was for them, you're still looking at the top CS going into EG's favor.
It's a Chrono bot at top.
Yeah, just going to be able to go for it. Fade Bolt going to come out as well if they need it, and, well, that's a pretty quick and easy kill. They take down the Batrider.
I mean, Newbee have a very different approach to smoke ganking than EG. EG at bottom, the smoke pops in like a non-ideal way, and they still commit for it. Newbee, they kind of smoke up there looking for the lifesteal of Arteezy. They run into the Batrider rather than say, screw it, let's dive the lifesteal. They say, look, we'll just take this kill and back off. Newbee have like a much safer approach to these kind of ganks.
Yeah, and you can see that down bottom as well. They just surge up the lifestealer, run forward like no tomorrow. And I mean, there's no great way to stop that. As soon as you get open wounds as a Visage, what's going to be your response? So really good movement.
For EG, they're the ones who are just making the more kind of aggressive moves. To Newbee, yeah, they're making plays like and getting the more kills, but they're doing it in a very safe, kind of secure way. Like when they go for, they're reacting to EG at bottom, and when they go for that chrono gank at top, it's like one of the safest plays they can make. There's no risk involved chronoing a Batrider when he's not even that close to his tower there. So puts Newbee in a pretty good spot early on. They haven't contested TA's farm, but considering that they're getting the towers and objectives, the Drow hasn't been hit too. Drow hasn't really been stopped at all. This is, to me, a good start for Newbee, even though they don't have that top 2 spot on the net worth chart.
All right. Well, we'll see if they can take advantage of that and keep pushing their edge. But right now, at least, it does look like EG want to strike back a little bit, try and take the tier 1 tower. But these Visage Birds, they're doing a lot to hold off the push.
Yeah, you can kind of leave them there by themselves and potentially even defend towers. So Arteezy will get chain stun. This will slow things down even more, but they're trading a tier 1 bottom for damage on the tier 2 top, as well as potentially a tier 1 mid being claimed. This is not favorable for EG right now. And these birds are going to look for the tower deny at bottom.
Oh, they get it. Oh my god. Talk about rage. He's certainly feeling it. Lifestealer going to walk away from that one.
Yeah, different kind of rage from Arteezy, perhaps. Showing there.
Well.
But yeah, I mean, EG, like you see Sumail's farm, and overall, like he's in a good spot. But I feel like the team strategically as a whole have not gotten the kills, the fights they wanted to. This is EG perhaps under a bit of pressure to come up with an answer to what is going to be a constant like death ball push coming out from Newbee. Very good use of the familiars. He's farming bottom lane while he keeps his hero like kind of joined up with his team. And EG used this Chronosphere very well. Well, we've seen them use it very well, and they can. Oh, sorry, Newbee used it very well, and they're looking for more kills. The Chrono into Arrow, the Starstorm. There's good follow-up damage.
Oh, they might even just save it here. I mean, Batrider, he has no idea what's coming his way, and tons of damage. They have the telekinesis pullback as well on top of the bashes, and yeah, I mean, that's just too easy at this point. I mean, how do you stop this pressure? Is there going to be able to kill off the Bounty Hunter maybe in mid? Oh, really close. Going to be able to survive, though.
I think this is the stage where EG need to start looking. Oh god, Rubik swoops in. What a player.
Oh, that
They
hurts.
start looking to use their smokes in different ways. Look to find like a surgeon with like the lifesteal. We saw the surgeon with the lifesteal infest once at bottom lane, but pickoffs is really what EG need to look for here.
Oh, and this might be the way to do it. Oh, steals Refraction, able to keep himself alive. Rubik is going to run out of it in a second, though, but the Visage Birds gain a 2-person stun. That is still going to be a dead Rubik, but it might not cost anybody else their lives. Arrow, turn back around. Chronosphere on to 4. Oh my god, KP making the plays. Do they have enough damage to bring them all down, though? That's at least 1 down, and well, trying to turn now onto Sumail. They do manage to find the Sun. Soul Assumption is going to be there as well with the vacuum wall. Back onto 4. The turnaround, the crush is going to be there. They are going to bring down everybody from Newbee that's left in the back. KP now also getting chained. I think he makes his escape, but man, oh man, the combination of team fight there.
It was an incredible Chronosphere, but the damage follow-up was just not really there. It was a bit lacking. If they had all their spells up and managed to like hit an arrow onto Arteezy as well, it could have gone a bit better for them. But problem was, they were only able to kill the one hero in the front of the Chronosphere. It was beautiful looking, but they didn't have the AoE. They don't really have much AoE damage at all. They have some decent single target with the Soul Assumption, but Void doesn't do much damage. Mirana's still at that point where pre-Aghanim Scepter, she doesn't do enough damage in that kind of a Chronosphere like that, so EG get the best of them with a really nice turn, and Newbee, I think just, you just get on such a high, you hit that multiple hero Chronosphere, you want to just keep chasing, diving for more kills, and then I think EG just had this moment of realization where it's like, wait, why are they chasing us? We've got Rage, and we've got Refraction on TA. Both of our carries can fight and turn around and do a lot of damage, and EG punished Newbee.
Well, it's still looking now like, you know, you need to get to that farming capability that you're talking about. Is it just going to be that Mirana Aghanim Scepter where they can look for that type of fight again, or is it more just a matter of that's something that's going to be difficult to play against with the Darkseer constantly there?
They need to get better jumps, like where they start with a cleaner pickoff, ideally without using the Chronosphere, like what we saw top lane where they kill the Batrider, and if they can turn that into a tower, they want like a pickoff into push kind of strategy. They don't want to just straight up try and 5v5 until they've got, like, I mean, you mentioned the Ag Scepter, that could change around like that item timing, but even then it still feels like they're lacking a bit in terms of overall damage to go into that Chronosphere, that it may not be enough for them to full on teamfight into EG. But pick off in the push is kind of going to be a good way to approach this game if you're Newbie. TA's got enough farm once she has the Desolator that things are going to be very, very difficult. And the Deso is completed, so with a TA Deso, I don't think you want to really teamfight into EG at this stage.
Yeah. And well, the other thing I noticed here, we've seen a little bit of a different look from KP. He ended up going for the Helm of the Dominator, so got in that item change, or given the item changes, it's kind of unique to see it getting picked up. I was thinking it was only going to be for, you know, heroes like Chen or something, but a lot of value.
It's kind of a utility item. Like, it seems the more I've seen it, it's kind of in some ways like the new drums, where you read it and you're like, oh, it's a support item, it gives this aura, but realistically it's pretty good on like core heroes as like a cheap, cost-effective item. With the +6 soul stats, it gives attack speed. Like, I mean, as much as like for a support item, you don't really want attack speed, so it is kind of like a cheap value core hero item for like a hero like Void, where you can benefit from the attack speed, you can give your team an aura, and then you can transition out of this into your treads, your manta, your diffusal, whatever you want to go for, your blink daggers. So out of this you can go a different direction, but yeah, it's just like a nice little cheap, cost-effective item.
Yeah. It does look like TA right now with the Ion Shell on top of her, as well as Deso. I don't think that this has been revealed. It might have been revealed on a creep wave, but she's going to run around, take down some Ancients, and keep the farm game going.
Oh, there's multiple TPs to the Shrine here. EG looking to respond to this mid lane presence.
Okay, they do lift up the Bounty Hunter, but the stuns, he's not going to be able to get out of there. Too much damage coming out from RTZ.
They may lose these birds. Looks like both will go down. Yep.
It's 50 seconds, no birds.
It's one of the few scenarios where you wish you had the old birds there, because those 2 right clicks from Sumail. Normally you're thinking, oh, it takes 3 to kill him, but those Visage birds melting, and with a Deso and a lifesteal in your team, they can very easily take Roshan if they want to early on this game.
Oh man, this is the scary stuff. I think that Newbee scouted it out though. Bounty Hunter walking around, Lifestealer inside of him. There's a lot of damage potential here, and you can see Newbee respecting it. They're all just going to back out. They have the Ags on Mirana, so they have the capability with which to fight. Just might be a little bit too much damage coming out from EG right now to feel comfortable with it.
Newbee are grouped up though. They're actually going to go for the smoke aggressive maneuver. They're kind of heading towards that mid lane. Their Shrine is kind of nearby as well if there is a fight in that area, but they're headed towards top. They realize EG is split up and they want to use their chrono. Oh. Actually, they're going to go into Roche. This is a gutsy play. This is a really nice move because you know EG is eyeing this off, and EG have such a good Roche lineup that getting in there is not just taking Roche for yourself, but it's blocking it from EG.
Yeah, and this is actually going to end up working. They have a ton of damage. Can EG get here in time? I don't think it's going to happen, as it looks like Roshan goes down the jump forward. They kill off Rubik, but KP, well, Chronosphere's solo RTZ, and they might be able to bring him down before he even gets his rage off. That is going to be a kill, and now turning on a Happy Holidays. I don't know if he's going to be able to survive through this if they decide to turn on to him. They do bring down that TA as well, so both of the big damage dealers on the side of EG are gone. They kill off the Darkseer as well, and looking for even more. I mean, tracks are abound, but they're not getting the kills.
They only lost their supports. They still hold on to the Aegis. That was like that's where hitting 4-man chronos isn't necessary. It's much more important to kill a core hero like TA or Lifestealer in a chrono than it is to catch 4 or 5 heroes. If you catch that one key target, bring him down, the fights get a whole lot easier for Newbee. And it was not start to the fight. It looked like Rubik didn't realize he was tracked. He was just sitting there in the stolen invis from the bounty hunter, but he got completely blown up. But it ended up being a really nice pseudo bait. I don't think the plan was for him to just die as bait, but it kind of baited EG in, and EG did not have a chance to fight into the newly picked up Aegis and the Ags Mirana as well.
I'll try to get
he's purging off the open wounds. Making the plays. Gets another purge off. You know, he's purging off that track. This is where it's great to see like good use. It feels like over the last perhaps year or so of Dota play, people have finally figured out how to like properly use dominated creeps, because now we're seeing like all the creeps get used in different scenarios. The purge creep especially being one of the big ones.
Yeah, it's great. It's really cool stuff. And I mean, now that you also can't get a diffusal blade to take that stuff off, it gives a lot more value to the Satyr Banisher as well. So we'll see if this is a continued trend, but KP with a little bit of innovation here, getting that Helm of the Dominator and making it work to great effect. How do you feel like the next couple of minutes go here? Has this really just thrown a wrench in the plans of EG's lineup getting the Roche stealing?
Yeah, EG need to slow things down, wait for this Aegis, either wait for the Aegis to expire, or they need to go for like the pickoffs themselves. They can smoke up, but they don't want to like fight a full-on 5v5 into the Chrono Starstorm, where if Lifestealer or TA gets caught in the Chrono, that hero will die, because the Chrono is followed up by an arrow. That's the beauty of this Mirana with the Void, is that it's such a long duration of lockdown onto either TA or Lifestealer, should they get caught. So Newbee's going to keep going at you. They've got Chrono very soon.
Oh no, they lift him up, they catch him, they kill him. Oh man, that is just not good for EG.
They didn't even, if they chain stun that one right with telekinesis into the bird drop, they didn't need the Chrono, but Newbee recognized if they kill Lifestealer, they get an objective. They get map control. So it's worth just making the low risk move, committing the Chrono to kill a core hero like Lifestealer, even if you didn't need it. Some teams, like a team like EG, probably don't go for the Chrono there just because they're a team that likes to like maximize their efficiency. Newbee, it's all about the overall strategy. Commit a Chrono, get the kill, then take the tower.
And this is the last tier 2, so potentially going to start shutting down the shrines as well. I mean, they get a tier 2 tower in the top lane, EG. It's certainly not worth it for what's going to probably be at least a couple more objectives here.
They're pinging it, yeah, they're going for the shrine. I don't imagine EG care to defend this one. This shrine not too valuable at this point. The shrine near Roshan is perhaps the one that you may look to defend if you're EG. But again, it comes down to how much can you fight into this Mirana Aegis. She now has a Blink Dagger as well, so there's some pretty good farm on SCC, and with the Drow Aura, SCC is going to transition into a right-clicking core as well. He's gone for the Agi, the attack speed. This Mirana talent tree is looking like a full-on carry Mirana. With Drow Aura, this Mirana is going to scale very well, and she is going for a Manta style, so going for more right-click DPS items rather than like the Dagon Ethereal Blade build.
Batrider, does he spot him out? No, doesn't have the gem up and online, so, well, in the middle of all of them, Darkseer maybe going to go down. Can they bring him down in time? It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Guardian Greaves are going to keep him there and alive. SC dropping low. They are going to also go after the Rubik. That is just the Aegis, though. Can they bring him down a second time? I don't know if it's going to happen, as, well, TA trying to make the escape. Sunned up silence as well for the moment, and, well, trying to turn as well. The Hurricane Pike, it's not going to be there. Oh, they bring down that TA. Oh, good TP away. That could have gone so much worse for EG, but even as it is, purged up right now. Arteezy, rage back up in 1 second. Not going to be able to get in range, unfortunately.
That Purge Creep is the hero of these fights in some ways. KP also getting away with a Time Walk TP. He didn't have Chronosphere for that fight, otherwise I think Newbee just clean up. He could have got like a 3-man Chrono there, but it was 15 seconds away. EG fortunate to be able to play around the cooldown there, and also something they were very likely knowing was on cooldown when they went for such an aggressive maneuver. I mean, speaking of aggressive, SCC, I couldn't believe him blinking into like 4 heroes there. Oh, Rubik, he just TP'd in.
Ghost Scepter? Is he? They're just gonna turn this back. Oh no. That is rubbing salt in the wounds. And then they got the fountain if they want it afterwards. Yep, Rubik fine and dandy.
Rubik's like, you guys, like, I'm shrining myself, you know, I'm gonna fountain up.
That's when you question mark.
I just baited for us. It's 5 minutes. You're not likely to need that shrine. You're the ones playing on the aggressive now. I'm not sure how much longer they have the Aegis for. Actually, they've lost. Oh, yes, of course, they lost in that fight. What am I talking about? So, we'll see. Newbee, probably, despite not having an Aegis, still look to fight into EG. They've got Chronosphere back up. That's the bigger thing. They want to make sure they're the ones getting the clean jump. They've got a smoke as well on Vistage, so they're kind of ready to go. They also want to clean up the map a bit. With the gem picked up, they want to make sure they take out all these traps, take out EG's vision, and they are going to look to target this shrine over near the Roshan pit.
Yeah.
As I kind of mentioned, this is an important shrine to take down just because of the fact it's so close to Roshan.
I mean, you could see there as well, Arteezy walked up to try and take down the illusions, but realizing that it just meant that Newbee was going to head over that direction, he had to back on out. It just feels like EG are not at all in control of this game, and it almost in a way is feeling like because of the Bounty Hunter pick, they don't have the ability to sort of deal with this constant pressure that's coming their way.
Yeah, they don't have that kind of stable, sit behind like your cores, save lives kind of hero. A hero with a stun, a hero with a defensive save spell. The bounty is just not really functioning in the way you'd normally expect your 5-position hero to do. On the Radiant side, you've got the Rubik, who's got telekinesis to have the instant initiation. He's also been able to save people with the telekinesis. And Newbee are looking to smoke up and find EG, but EG are smoked up themselves. They are attacking that Radiant side of the map, looking to get down some deep vision and find a key pickoff if possible. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case though, and well...
Oh, they have the Batrider coming in. They're not going to go for it, but this does reveal TA in the mid lane, and well, they is an arrow a little bit off the mark. Okay.
KP went for the blink chrono, but fast fingers from Sumail, he blinked out and the chrono was cancelled.
They have actually found bounty?
Yeah, the gem's on the Visage though, so Visage, one of the slower heroes, so can't get quite in range in time.
Well, this is starting to feel more and more just like cat and mouse, and I'm not exactly sure what EG can do if they get found out. The plus side is that you've got Sumail with a ton of farm on him. Is this a hero that's capable of pulling the game back?
Yeah, I mean, he's going for all-in damage too, going for this Orchid into Bloodthorn build. I was expecting more like the traditional BKB, just so we could get out of the Drow Silence, get away from the Visage nukes, the Grave Chill, the Mirana damage, but he wants to be able to combat like the Void more than anything. Void does not have an escape for the Orchid right now. Neither does the Mirana. I mean, if you have Blink Up, but if you blink on the Mirana and hit her while Orchiding, she's not going to be able to blink away. So the Orchid could be an item pickup that catches Newbee a bit by surprise if they're not ready for it. But Mirana's very close to the Manta style now, so that doesn't look like it's going to be an issue for her.
And KP, he doesn't have, as you're saying, that answer. It doesn't look like he's really itemizing towards it either. Well, actually, he has the Purge creep. So...
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's had the answer all along. You're right, Lyrical. What are we talking about?
What a build. What a game.
Yeah, he's the real hero creep.
I mean, I guess that it's a little bit scary because it's not always right next to him, but he should be fine probably.
Yeah, he's just got it patrolling his hero, so wherever he goes, the creep will follow behind. But it's not. I mean, it's pretty fast with the changes. Its default movement speed is 425. But if you TP to join your team, now your creep has to walk across the map. His creep's suddenly stuck in the top lane.
Well, EG setting up along the bottom lane here, trying to see if they can. I guess, are they wanting to slow siege the tower or hoping that somebody shows up?
They want to hope. They're not hoping for a team fight where like someone like Arteezy gets Chrono. The big issue they have is they don't have any good saves against Chrono. If someone gets Chrono, they're almost guaranteed dead. There's no ways to really keep that hero alive inside of the sphere. They've got a Greaves, but that's unlikely to be enough. And if you're in Arteezy's shoe, that's why he's going for this plate mail build. He knows if he gets Chrono, he needs to just have all the survivability that he can muster to keep himself alive. I think EG's just playing on the bottom side of the map because they feel it's safer. They don't really want to fight into Newbee, and with Newbee having full vision of this top jungle, they can't really do a whole lot.
It's a very tough game right now, and definitely it's slowed down in the pace. But this, I mean, if you're Newbee, do you need to worry about trying to close out this game against EG? Is it something where you can play more Cavalier and wait until that Roshan comes up, or do they need to sort of amp up the pace a little bit and keep finding kills?
They're fine. This is not like your all-in Drow strat where you've got to win the game fast. They have 4 core heroes that will scale well. If you look at the Visage, he's a hero that benefits a lot from farm. And then Rubik's a hero that goes very well late game as well, just because he can steal a lot of cool spells this game. Stuff like Vacuum, Lasso, Track. So I think Newbee are fine with this game dragging out, but at the same time, they also have the stronger team. So if they can find a fight, they'll take it.
Oh, this was not in range, unfortunately, with that gem, it looks like. And, well...
Roche is back up, so no. Newbee will just force the issue at Roshan. This is like, EG either come and contest Roshan, or they give it up. And they're also going to lose bounty along the way. So this is something not looking like a Roche they can contest.
Oh my god, Batrider also a little bit scary there.
Oh, he whiffed the Chrono.
Yeah.
Okay. He went for it. That's... you know, you gotta throw those Chronos every now and then, you know. You gotta keep Sumail in check. Sumail with one day you know he'll miss that blink out. If he misses that blink out, you kill a TA there. You can force a buyback, or if not a buyback, you take high ground. So it's It looks bad, but those are the kind of chronos you sometimes just got to go for.
I guess the thing, though, is now it also does mean that even though Roche is up, they're not feeling super comfortable going in there and taking it down.
No, it's a big win for EG. They may actually consider Roshan themselves. The Chronosphere is the big tool to me that gives Newbee the edge right now, but when Chrono's down, EG, they can initiate in without fear of that counter play from the Chrono. They can go in with a Batrider, Blink, Lasso, and an Infest and not worry about the Chrono waiting for them. And that's why they immediately get aggressive. The Batrider's Invis, he's got an Infested Lifestealer. Typically, you go for an Infest gank with that. The second you pop out, you're getting Chronosphered, and that's like a disaster for you. But nice scan. Will he walk into it? He doesn't walk into the Radiant scan.
Oh, he does.
At the last second. Very last second of the scan, they see... Well, they don't see who it is, but they see the scan proc, so... They're well aware that someone's nearby.
Oh my god, and they're reading this so well. They know exactly where they're heading. They are going to back out now, but...
They still don't have Chronosphere. It's still very risky to take a fight, but they don't want to give EG the free Roshan. So they're like saying, look, we're going to find a way to take this fight, even if we don't have Chronosphere on our side. Buy time for the Chronosphere to come back up. It's only 30 seconds away.
Time is money.
Well, that was a little bit of a scary situation there for both teams, and I mean, we've got the Bloodthorn on TA. She's got a ton of damage on her. Lifestealer as well, even though he's been set inside these creeps a lot. He's been able to get himself a decent amount of farm, but it has really been lowered compared to what we imagine out of, seeing Arteezy usually. I guess, is this sort of hurting them, the fact that they're not finding these ganks? Oh, we see another smoke.
It's hurting. I mean, that's a big reason why Arteezy hasn't been able to keep up and farm. He's tried to go for these infest ganks and they haven't really worked.
Oh, could go up for the high ground here. They get the lift. There's the jump forward. Still hanging on to it. KP has the blink available, but I feel like EG are just going to have to back out again.
Are they going for it? The Familiars can also scout the Batrider. They're in the Roshan pit. Familiars will see the surged up bat.
Oh, pull back in onto one, but the Chronosphere is immediately going to be there. Vacuum wall onto 4. Is it going to be enough to actually get the kills, though? I don't know. Stolen wall, turning back the other direction, and now silenced up as well. Arteezy nowhere to go. He's going to be brought down. KP is being controlled, and he actually is going to go down there to the Templar Assassin, but 3 are already dead for EG, and, well, just easy peasy to clean up Roche.
Dang, that was another. I mean, KP just hits these good chronos. That right there like shows why Universe is such a good Darkseid player. Not only does he hit a multiple hero vacuum wall, Sumail's going in.
Another vacuum wall off of the same wall, but is it going to be enough? Actually, everybody's really low. They do kill off the Mirana, but nobody else really off the back of it. Happy Holidays, the most tanky person in the middle of all of them, but is he going to go down? Doesn't look like it. He could go in for another pass. That saves Roshan. All right, and Universe.
Universe blinks in thinking they're there. The gem gets recovered. They find this gem. That was Mirana had the gem after that fire then. That's a lost gem, and Roshan going to be going the way of... looks to be going the way of EG. Not over yet.
All right, Universe is the best player ever. What the hell? How do you save this? How is that a thing?
That first vacuum, he vacuumed Newbee's heroes into the Chronosphere. So suddenly, it wasn't EG just caught in the Chronosphere, it was Newbee. Newbee were actually getting disabled by their own Chrono because of the vacuum wall, and then he comes back in for another vacuum into the same wall. That was just some insane Darkseid play coming out from, well, the man who is the best Darkseid player in the world.
You love to see it. Well, cool stuff indeed coming out from EG, and they're able to salvage that situation. Now with an Aegis, it's, not that substantial of a lead. Are Newbee sweating a little bit at this point?
Yeah, I mean, it was a TA buyback, but that's the kind of scenario where it's well worth a buyback. This is a game where Aegis is just so important.
Oh, really low, but the Guardian Greaves should be able to keep alive that.
Oh, he dies. Bloodthorn.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The Hurricane Pike and the Bloodthorn, he Hurricane Pike for the last couple of right clicks and then managed to still hit him with the Bloodthorn. Like, the right clicks didn't kill him, it was the Bloodthorn damage afterwards that did. What a great pickup against the Void, and that's where, I mean, you mentioned the Purge Creep, but when it's there, it's great. He has an Ogre currently, so he needs to get... He's got the Aghanim Scepter queued up in his quick buy. I almost feel like getting a Manta Style or a Diffusal is going to be a little bit better, just for the Insta-Purge and the safety, because you've got to get off Chronosphere in a fight. If they're not getting Chrono off, Newbee are going to lose team fights, and that's where not having a BKB, a Manta, or Diffusal, I think could be costly for KP.
Wow, and I mean, I'm just sort of befuddled at this point. You're looking at what was a really scary situation for EG just a couple of minutes ago, and suddenly the momentum has completely stopped for Newbee, and he got level 25 on TA now with 3 bonus refraction instances. It's a lot of burst damage from Newbee, so this is really helping her out a ton.
We'll see. The next couple moves are going to be is, Newbee, they've got their work cut out for them with how farm Sumail is. He is getting out of control. The team fight of EG is starting to ramp up now. Like, Universe gets a Ship's Guard. It's not really about Arteezy. He's kind of in the front. Like, it's kind of at that point where you don't mind Arteezy getting chronoed and brought down because he's not the true carry by any means. Sumail is almost double his net worth. He's got an aura. Like, he's just tanking up. He's got the AC. He just wants to stay alive. We see another tower denied by Visage. Those cheeky little birds.
He's been all over it the whole game. Yeah, and I mean, we're still going to be able to see the Lifestealer scale better, but it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be, like you said. I'm thinking now at the next couple of minutes, you have Shivas on Darkseer. What's their objective at this point? Do you try and just run down another tower? Do you feel confident in that?
I mean, I guess as far as who's running down towers right now, it's looking more like Newbee is still the team who want to, like, yeah, they're going to smoke up, they're going to look for that pick off, and then if they find it, they transition to push. They want to try punish the fact that TA doesn't have buyback. Even with an Aegis, it's very risky to fight right now for Sumail.
Yeah, and they connect, and this is going to be another kill. And, well, that was also the gem, so Newbee able to find the gem, coming back their direction, and things are looking a little bit better for them off that pick.
Yeah, I think Sumail doesn't want to necessarily fight right into Newbee right now without a BKB or something. It's quite tricky. Not sure if he's necessarily going to go for the BKB. He's somewhat slot limited right now with the Aegis in his hands, but he wants to make sure he can stay alive in these fights should he get Chronosphere, for example. Draft's got an Eagle Song already, and it looks like it may be an Ethereal Blade rather than the Butterfly. I mean, this item gives more agi than anything else in the game, so why not?
Yeah, helping out his buddies. There's a lot of damage coming out from SC, and the Gus not quite going to be on the mark. KP? He's not going to go for it.
If they'd caught Sumail there, like with the Gus or something, they may have looked to bring him down. Even with the Aegis, if you kill him the first time without having to commit a Chronosphere, when he respawns, you throw that Chrono and you kill him a second. His buyback is still on cooldown for another 2 minutes, so definitely worth throwing everything in the kitchen sink to bring down Sumail at this point, given his level of farm.
Well, we're currently saying 36 minutes into this, 2,000 net worth lead into the favor of EG, and about the same amount of experience. Other big talents that are coming online, it's a lot of the cores that have hit it, but is there anything sticking out to you really here?
Yeah, I mean, so TA got level 25, went for the bonus refraction, as you kind of expect. This is, to me, just way better than the respawn time. So next year is going to be what? Mirana hitting level 25, you get the extra leap attack speed. I assume you want to go leap attack speed there. Multi-shot Sacred Arrows is theoretically, like, insane if you hit like multiple arrows in like a Chronosphere, but it's pretty unreliable. But I don't think, I mean, there's no like massively game-changing ones coming out. The 12% cooldown reduction on Darkseer could be kind of nice.
Oh, but we could have a big
fight
fight
up into
coming
each other, yeah.
This is looking scary. Do they realize it? Jump forward, pull back in onto one, but the Chronosphere are going to connect on two, and TA is caught here. I don't know if they have enough damage to bring her down, though. Those extra Refraction Charges doing a lot, and, well, they weren't able to kill her off. EG taking a lot of damage. Another two-person stun coming in from those birds as well, but TA still large and in charge, and could look to take down a couple more. They've already lost the Drow Ranger and KP. The Chronosphere was not quite good enough, and, well, it's going to come at the cost of all of their damn lives.
They don't have buybacks, Lyrical. This could just be a lane, multiple lanes are acts. It could almost be the game here with those 3 heroes down. It's not the longest of respawns, so looks like they may just lose like 2 lanes of racks here, or at least the bottom lane, but what a good team fight for EG. The TA is just at that point where there's just too much farm on her. There was a purge creep like in the middle of all of that, but KP just couldn't get it off with the positioning, and there was just no follow-up damage in the Chronosphere. The Mirana kind of was like the one getting jumped on, so Mirana wasn't right-clicking during the Chronosphere, and that meant Newbee just didn't have what they needed.
They took down those birds as well, just one swift stroke from TA, and it was gone. And now you look, the barracks is down. They don't have a creep wave with them right now, so it does look like they're going to back out. There's one coming in, but they don't want to overstay their welcome. And a huge win for EG off the back of that fight. Man, Newbee has just been stopped cold.
Yeah, that was brutal. It just feels like there's this slight lack of damage on a Drow strat. It's a lineup you wouldn't expect to have a lack of damage, but everyone's kind of itemized to tank up on EG's side. You've got the AC aura, you've got the Darkseer with Greaves and Shiver's Guard. The TA is just at that point where you're level 25 and you've got extra refraction. So she gets caught in a Chronosphere but took no damage at all because you've got 9 instances of damage block. You're not worried about getting Chronosphered as much if you're in this TA shoes. And now with the Butterfly, you've got Evasion there as well. Drow and Mirana are going to struggle to deal damage to Sumail.
What is their even their answer to this now? Because do they all have to right click TA consistently? It feels like there's no DOT on their lineup to deal with TA at all.
Yeah, there's really not. You don't at this point. A chrono onto the TA followed up by a 5-second arrow seems to be your best bet, but problem was that fight EG got the jump. So even though there was a counter initiation from the Chronosphere, the Mirana was still locked down. So I think if you're in Newbee shoes, you need to make sure you're the one getting the initiation off. They were on the low ground going to high ground there, so EG had the superior position, which kind of affected them. Oh my gosh, he just loses 2 of the 3 birds.
Oh man.
One TA Psyblade, almost lost the 3rd. Yeah, we're kind of at that point where these birds are buffed and pretty damn strong, but they're not that strong. And they're not actually level 3 birds yet. It's still half a level away from level 18.
400 damage without a DD rune. TA right now is just so hard to deal with. Well, and there's going to be the Chronosphere, and they do have some more damage to throw into it. But the Vacuum Wall, it's bringing them all into the Chrono as well. Great play from Darkseer, again, saving the day. And now, do they have enough to actually kill off anybody from EG? It's not looking like it's going to happen. TA alive on very small amounts of health, but you know what? It's looking like everybody from Newbee is going to start to fall. The chase onto Visage. You do have Lifesteal around after him and trying to TP away. It's not going to happen. They are looking to bring down the Bounty Hunter. He is going to fall, and Gem is on the ground, but nobody to pick it up. And honestly, if you can only take it down a Bounty Hunter after something like that, that is a problem.
Plus 3 refraction instances. This is a very, very good talent, as evidenced by that fight right there. Sumail somehow stays alive. I mean, again, it's the Universe Darkseer coming in with Greaves, Shivers, Crimson Guard. He vacuum walls absolutely everyone. The entire supporting cast of EG had to make sure they did everything to save Sumail there, and boy, does that end up going well for EG. They may not be able to push high ground off of that fight because the TA is just too low on HP, but we see TA immediately pick up a Skadi now, so taking up even further. I think he's kind of just saying, well, if I stay alive in these fights, it's going to be pretty easy for us to win them, and that's what this Skadi is going to provide him.
And I mean, it's almost feeling like now that you have to have Rubik's Seal Ion Shell or something, because it's too hard to fight through these refraction charges. I don't know if I've seen a game where a talent counters a lineup so hard as this, and it's just because there isn't any of that DOT.
Well, see what the plan is going to be. They try and make a move towards Roshan, but they're too late. EG kill it too fast for them to get there. They even committed the Moonlight Shadow there. So it looks like the call is, this is, the crazy thing is, this is a TA who hasn't gone for BKB or anything. We're seeing no BKB on TA, and there's just not enough like lockdown spells, like you mentioned, like no DOTs, there's no real, I mean, there's a Grave Chill, which is actually one of the better slows and more annoying spells to fight into, but problem is Visage can't really just run in and expect to get all that easily without dying and melting. They're trying to take advantage of the lack of BKB, though, by now getting multiple Ethereal Blades. It looks like Drow as well as Mirana both going to have an Ethereal Blade, so we'll have 2 of those on the side of EG. They've also got EG, though, speaking of which, have a Solar Crest to even further help out Sumail. This game is... And we're kind of entering that crazy late game stage where there's just items galore everywhere.
Well, they do have the lift back. All right, a really good Chronosphere, but again, Vacuum Walls, all 4 of them, Darkseer. Give them a chance, man. That's not going to happen. And, well, they're able to steal the wall, try and throw it back at EG. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. And, well, E-Blade now as well onto Sumail, but all of those refraction instances are just going to keep piling up, chasing after SC, wants to take that man down and is going to be able to get the kill finally. But guess what? That is just the Aegis. All right, they're all coming back up again, and it's time to turn on to these barracks. Potentially, can they hold here?
Surges away. They brought back the Mirana, hoping to catch Sumail there, but the Darkseer surge again. Oh my god, this universe is just a god right now. He's, you know, we mentioned how they don't have that 5 position saving support. It's Universe. He's the save for this team. These vacuums. Oh, a nice little snipe from SCC. Snipes the bounty, but Again, he vacuums them into the chronosphere. It was another chrono where Mirana as well as Drow get caught inside of it because of Universe's vacuum. Mirana wasn't right-clicking, Drow wasn't right-clicking, and that's a big problem. The biggest thing there is you don't have the arrow follow-up. Ideally, after the chronosphere, you want an arrow either onto the life steal or the TA, so you get that extra 5 seconds of stun duration, but they're not finding it. The Mirana's just standing a bit too close and getting caught in that vacuum is a disaster.
That's really a real big problem, and it's feeling at this point like the Chronosphere is helping EG more than it's hurting them. Honestly, each and every time. You've got all of these attack range modifiers as well. See, do you actually have one? You don't have one on Mirana, but it does feel like you just stand that little bit extra back, and maybe you end up finding a couple kills in that. So what's the play now if you're Newbee? They held high ground to some extent. Is that decent?
I mean, you're still in this game, is, I guess, the good news here. Game's not over just yet. Mirana hits level 25. Where's that talent going, Mirana? Which one is it going to be? The moment of truth. She's undecided.
You don't want to put the talent in.
100 leap attacks. Okay, I was about to say, if it's not the leap attack speed, I'd be very surprised, but... The arrows is kind of cool. I think both are cool. Even if you're a support, the attack speed still just sounds better because you give that attack speed to your whole team if you leap over them. Oh. This is EG running at them again. This time without an Aegis though, so...
Maybe there's an opening here.
You'd be in a really good high ground, advantageous position potentially.
Oh, they're just going to end up going for the Chrono onto one. Happy Holidays. He actually walked into the Chronosphere, though. Darkseer not going to be there throughout the rest of all of this, but the two-person lasso is going to come back in. Oh, and now the wall again dropped, doing a lot of damage, stealing wall yet again. Rubik trying to make the best of a little bit of a precarious situation. They have already killed off the Lifestealer, but now they lose KP and trying to Ghost Scepter and walk away. It does look like, at least for now, it's just going to lick their wounds. 1-for-1 exchange.
Drow starts right-clicking TA and it's like, all right, there's a lot of refraction charges there. Let's stop bothering. They back off. And Newbee, I don't know. We're kind of at that point where is chronoing the lifesteal. That's like what EG wants. I think EG wants lifesteal to get solo chrono at this point. I've seen this bounty. That's the exact same thing that happened at right outside their base. It's poor bounty. The Radiant Vision was there, and he just gets sniped.
It's a tough life right now to be a bounty hunter.
This game's still winnable for newbies. The thing, like, you get some key. Like, Sumail's not getting any scarier right now. He's maxed out effectively. Like, yeah, you've got those backpack slots. You can kind of slide items in and out to some extent, but realistically, like, Sumail's kind of at that point where whatever he's going to do in a team fight, he's already doing. It doesn't get amplified up from here. Whereas there's a few heroes who can still benefit from items on the Radiant side, the newbie side. Mirana's only just now picked up Miona, so has only really just reached that 6 slotted. KP has a lot of room to grow with the Aghanim Scepter, as well as... Oh, he actually picks up a Ghost. Like, I like this better, knowing there's no Purge on the Dire side. He keeps dying. He keeps dying to, like, in the Silence. And with the Ghost Scepter, if he gets Silence, he just has to Ghost Scepter. This is like the cheap version of a Manta style. Or a BKB. It costs him less amount of gold, but it keeps him alive when he gets silenced by Sumail.
All right, well, we'll see if that does end up, making the big enough of a difference. I think I like it more so than going for that Aghanim Scepter, just because of, how difficult it's been for him to stay alive in some of these fights. And I think that's pretty much everybody who has some form of ethereal on their team. Not Visage, but pretty much everybody else.
Yeah, this is, it's all largely physical damage from EG. They've got lockdown from the other heroes as far as their nukes go, but it's not like there's a lot of damage output coming out from the Bat Rider or the Darkseer.
And they're all grouped up again. It does look like EG realized that something could be up, though, as they are going to back out of there. So good decision.
There was no one defending the high ground. The TA trap was also in the area, may have spotted the invis happen, but they back off for now, and Newbee kind of have to fix some of their lanes, get them back pushing out, and I think EG are probably just, they're kind of thinking about next Roche, quite likely, or even something like a sheep stick being picked up on someone like, Universes can get the sheep stick so they can have that instant initiation onto someone like a Void or a Mirana. There's no Lincolns to block this now.
God, a DD rune on Sumail, 620 damage for every hit. That is so terrifying to look at. And I guess, you know, Roshan probably going to be the next one up on the docket. Do you think that a team has like an inherent advantage over the other in this Roche pit? Because you do have still a great team fight spell and Chronosphere from Newbee.
I mean, I really like Newbee's team fight, just like you say, because of the Chronosphere, and they've also got the AoE stuns and the familiars, but for EG, you've got the lane pressure. They're the ones who've taken a lane of racks. They're pushing out multiple lanes. Sumail's going to have buyback with like level 2 travel. He's got just level 1 travels for now, but I imagine we'll see him pick up the level 2 travels soon, so he can just buy back, TP onto an ally hero. So I do feel like EG has the edge around the Roshan pit just because of the way the lanes are being pushed out better by their squad. But all it's going to take is a quick kill onto Sumail or Chrono, and if you can disengage and waste his buyback, then you're in a good spot.
All right. We'll see if that indeed is going to end up happening, if they can get themselves in a good position to take this fight.
I think they saw the bounty hunter pop out to plant that ward, so... Yeah. Rubik, you're stuck up there, mate.
In a little bit of trouble. They're going to pull him back in. Arrow is going to connect onto one, but raged off immediately. And while KP now silenced up as well, is he going to be able to get anything off? Chronosphere is available. Time walks away. Is going to be able to catch on to this TA, and this might be enough, but another vacuum wall. And, well, it is still going to be TA getting off the second set of refraction charges. Everybody's getting lightning down to death as my FPS is all gone, and it does look like Visage is going to be the last one to fall. Buyback from TA, but there's no buyback on Mirana. There's nothing there. This could potentially be it.
Top tower is under attack.
No, Mirana just got buyback? Question mark? It didn't show at the top. I didn't see the buyback either. I don't know if that was a bug or what, but...
That was weird. All right, everybody's buying back. It looks like they want to try and take this fight. The birds are dead again, and already the melee barracks is down.
They've got no Chrono, though. They've got no Void. That's the key hero for them most of the time, and they just can't break the refraction charges. Arrow going to be dodged, and with that arrow not landing, I don't think Newbee can really chase much further. That vacuum, I want to say it saves Sumail was dying to the Mirana right click, and then Mirana got vacuumed into the Chrono. Once again, we see it. That's like 3 or 4 Chronos now where Universe has been there with the vacuum to drag in the right-clicking carries of Newbee. He has, I mean, you're talking about, I mean, MVPs this game, like Sumail has had a hell of a game and has made he's the top of the net worth, getting all the kills, but I mean, hats off to Universe. Without Universe, Sumail would have died 5+ more times than he has.
Oh man, and he's ended up going back for the 70 Ion Shell damage. The other thing we didn't talk about a ton, his level 10 talent plus 100 cast range. Like, as if he wasn't already doing enough good things on this hero before. Just one extra, thing and drop in the bucket. My goodness.
Nope, absolutely. The choice. I wasn't sure they'd go for the Iron Shell damage. The 12% cooldown reduction is really nice, considering it affects your items as well. But 12% is also like a pretty small amount of cooldown reduction. It's not like a huge noticeable amount. So probably decides they are actually lacking a bit in damage, as we've seen in a few of these fights. So he's like, all right, let's make up for that. Let's get some more. We see Lifesteal get his 25. He got the armor, not the rage duration. So he wants to just. I mean, you're against pure physical damage.
Yeah.
In the Mirana and the Drow, so you're thinking like, let's just stay alive as much as possible.
Well, and potentially looking to close this series out at this point. SC going to leap away, and Rubik gets the lift. Pat Ryder pulling him back in, and a lot of damage being dealt out. KP controlled up for the moment, not going to get the Chronosphere off, and that might be their swan song, as already one is dead. TA, don't know if she's going to be able to do enough to keep the rest of the team on her back, and Ghost Scepters Abound is also going to be able to get the ethereal form out on the TA, but it's really, I mean, it's just holding off the inevitable at this point, I think. There's so much damage onto the towers, and EG are just never going to leave.
Yeah, again, it's Universe coming with a big play. He hexes the Void so that he couldn't Ghost Scepter. In the past, when he's silenced up, he Ghost Scepter stays alive. And EG, they're not done. They're just killing Newbee in their own base now, underneath the throne, underneath the fountain itself.
No place
EG
is safe.
Take game 1. Yeah, Sumail makes sure of that. The fountain itself, SCC will be hunted there. And yeah, that hex onto the Void meant that he couldn't get a Chronosphere off, and they were just very reliant on the Chronosphere for them to win team fights, and EG counterplayed the Chronosphere so incredibly well with the vacuums.
It was really a pleasure to watch, and one of the more dominant Darkseer performances that I think we've seen in a long time coming out from Universe to help save those cores, and I can't wait to watch game number 2. Gods, looking at the way that this one played out, it felt like Newbee were winning for a while, and then EG were able to pull it back off of some really great teamfight execution. How do you see the next game going?
Probably a lot of it. I mean, I think Newbee are going to stick with their guns, stick to these more like group up, push oriented lineups. And if anything, they just got to adapt and maybe find like another hero to like dish out a bit more damage. That was kind of something that they were lacking, getting more farm on KP as well. We saw him just never really